How familiar are you with Chat GPT? I'm not familiar with it at all, and it's kind of creepy, not gonna lie. It's freaky, but the truth is we got to adapt. You know, a couple years ago, people were saying that computers were crazy. You know, that if you used a computer, you were a nerd. But nowadays we got Chat GPT, and how is this any different? Because I'm sorry, but it's a future, whether we like it or not. You know, and I'm not saying I agree with Chat GPT. I don't want to empower it, but the thing is, can we stop this train? I don't know. I can't. I don't got that authority. I know God does, but I don't got that authority. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about it and how you can utilize it to escalate any business. Now, a lot of you guys are stumbling across this video. You're looking for an idea, right? You're looking for a solution. Everybody is. That's why you click on these videos, right? Because you got a solution that you need. Well, I have the solution for you. Guarantee it. You came here either being one of two people. You came here, you have a job, and you need ways to practice, but you don't have anyone to practice on, or you're trying to start a business, right? So professional. And then number two, the other people on the other side of the spectrum have a need and they actually need help conquering it, right? Whatever that might be, they need help with it. And quite frankly, I think a lot of you guys are gonna find that solution here if you're on that side of the spectrum as well. I just started practicing as I am creating a business. I'm in the beginning of starting a business of mindset coaching. And it's a business I think doesn't get a lot of attention, doesn't get the attention that it deserves, because a lot of people are without purpose. They're so confused, so lost, and it's never been like this ever before in history, right? There's so much going on. There's all these chemicals messing with our brains, all this media that competes for our attention, and a lot of us are just lost. We have no idea, and we are just stuck. And so there's a lot of need for mindset coaching. That's why I do it. That's why I want to utilize it in both in YouTube and professionally as I create my own business. But this is something new, trying it out. I have to get rich. I gotta be able to find a way to provide for my family, and you can't do that by doing nothing. So this is the start. Me being just vulnerable. All right. And if you guys are interested in a coaching call yourselves, please email me. My email is in the description below. Working on a website, maybe here soon. Haven't started. I know. I just said you don't get anywhere by doing nothing, but yeah, I gotta stop doing nothing. All right. But anyways, let's get into this Chat GPT. So this is Chat GPT, right? Some of you guys might be familiar with it. It's pretty cool. What? So we're gonna do a little mindset coaching role play. Okay, so this is how I started it. I was telling ChatGPT I need practice being a mindset coach. And I basically said, I need you to create a character profile, tell me who you are, tell me some of your interests, and then let's start, right? And we started, and it was pretty amazing how the conversation escalated. Now, take into mind that me having this conversation, this is with a disembodied person, right? It's weird, it is creepy, just as creepy as it sounds, but it's pretty cool at the same time because it is helping me achieve my goals. Let's do this again. Make a new profile. Make a new profile. Yeah, let's just leave it there. Make a new profile. Here's a fresh profile and a new, name Sarah Collins. So now I'm dealing with a female, all right? She's age 27. This is an awesome opportunity because I am age 23, right? Regardless, they're coming here with a need. I might be a lot younger. I might be a little bit younger than her, but at the end of the day, I have value and I gotta have confidence in them. Okay, background. Sarah recently graduated with a degree in graphic design and has been working at a digital marketing agency for the past year. While she's had a decent start to her career, Sarah feels disconnected from her creative roots. She used to paint and experiment with digital art throughout her childhood, but as she entered the workforce, those passions took a back seat. Her job is well paying, but it's left her feeling creatively drained and unfulfilled. Sarah's questioning her career path and is uncertain about where her true passions lie. She's frustrated with herself for not pursuing art more seriously and feels a growing sense of regret about not having taken more risks to follow her creative dreams. She often feels like she's too old to shift directions, and she's been doubting whether she's been good enough to make it as an artist or designer outside of her current job. There's a strong desire to start something new, but she's paralyzed by her fear of failure and fear of disappointing her family. So pretty common, a lot of you guys probably relate with that, right? There's always got to be fear. That is always the confrontation when it comes to progression. Overall feeling about life, conflicted and a bit lost. Sarah feels the weight of responsibility and expectations, both from her job and from those around her. Although she's made it through the initial steps of adulthood, she still longs for more freedom to pursue her creative passions. Her inner conflict revolves around wanting to follow her heart, unsure how to take the first step toward pursuing a more creative career or even incorporating her art back into her daily life. Let me know if you'd like to adjust anything. Okay, perfect. That gives us a pretty good idea of who Sarah is. All right, Sarah Collins is a 27-year-old woman, and she's built her life around security, around comfort, and in the process, she's lost her ability or her freedom to create, to do the things that she really cares about. So when I deal with something like this, I like to focus on the concept of passion, right? A lot of people really don't know what passion is. What is passion, right? So I want to talk to her about that a little bit. And I also want to talk to her and just kind of relate with her just to start. Okay. Forgive me, again, disembodied voice, so it's kind of hard to make this comfortable. Hey Sarah, I really appreciate your time and willingness to come and visit me today. I want to hear a little bit more about some of your struggles currently. Tell me a little bit more. Again, not perfect, but let's see. Thanks for having me. Honestly, it's hard to put everything into words, but I feel like I'm kind of stuck in this space where I'm not really happy, but I don't know how to get out of it. I've been working at this marketing job for a while now, and it's fine. Like, I can pay my bills, I've got a steady paycheck, but it's not the work I thought I'd be doing. I always dreamed of being more involved in creative projects like painting or graphic design, but now I'm just stuck in front of a screen all day, pushing ads and working on campaigns that don't feel personal or fulfilling at all. I guess part of me feels like I wasted all of this time in school, and now I'm here, wondering if I even have what it takes to make an art career. It's like I'm too old to change direction now, and I'm scared I'll never make it as an artist. Plus, I don't want to let anyone down, especially my family. They've always been proud of me for getting a stable job, and I feel guilty for wanting something different. Does that make sense? So, yes, that does make sense. A lot of us are in those shoes right now, right? A lot of you guys might be in that situation currently. You feel it. Maybe you're in school right now. You feel it right now. You're like, I don't even know if this is going to help me. I just feel the pressure to go, right? But I want to go and pursue art. I want to go and pursue digital art. Now, I am an artist myself, so this is kind of this is fun. It makes it a little bit easier for me, but doesn't mean it is necessarily easy because I don't really understand the struggles yet. But I do at the same time. Okay. No, I totally understand you, Sarah. Honestly, it makes sense. And I want you to just feel secure in the fact that you're not alone. Everybody goes through this. A lot of people are going through this, right? It's so common to go to school and to get your job and to organize your life around security, but even more common to lose yourself in the process. For you yourself, it sounds like you do feel lost. Am I correct in thinking? See what she says. Yeah, you're right. I do feel lost. Like, I spent all this time thinking that once I had the job and everything was lined up, I'd feel fulfilled, but instead it just feels like something's missing. I thought the stability would bring peace, but it's actually left me feeling stuck in a routine that doesn't light me up. I don't even know where to start. If I wanted to break out of this, it's like I'm not sure if I'm allowed to want something different or if it's too late for me to even try. And I think that's what scares me the most, that it might be too late. I feel like I'm supposed to be grateful for what I have, but there's a part of me that keeps pulling me back to what I really want to do. And I don't know how to bridge the gap. Okay, so big need right now. I spent all this time thinking that once I had the job and everything was lined up, I'd feel fulfilled, right? Common feeling. But again, something's missing. Essentially, she's talking about how she's not saying it, but she's sold her soul to something that isn't fulfilling, that's not filling her soul. But I'm going to work with this. It's not like we can tell her to just quit her job. Obviously, that's not the right option. But she's pretty scared. She feels stuck in a routine. Makes sense. Okay. Sarah, honestly, it's totally okay to feel this way. I'll say it again, right? But it's not too late. And I'm going to say that confidently, it's not too late. Actually, Sarah, I think you're very fortunate to be in the position you're at. Like you said, you have a good paycheck, you have stability. Guess what else that means? You have freedom. There's never been a time where you're more free to do the things that you love and care about than right now. I want to ask you, if it is something that you care about so much, why haven't you started? What's holding you back? Yeah, I see what you mean. This is what Sarah says. Sarah exhales slowly, nodding as she listens intently. Yeah, I see what you mean. I do have more freedom than I realize, and I've been so focused on what I don't have that I haven't appreciated what I actually do have. That's a good way of looking at it. I guess part of it is fear. I'm scared that now again, she's telling me I'm afraid, right? She's really trying to get that out. I'm afraid to do what? Afraid to start. That's what she's saying. And I probably should have paid more attention to that. That's something I could do better. I'm scared that I'll put all this time into something and nothing will come of it. Or that I'll fall short and just end up disappointed. It's easier to not start because that way I can keep my comfort zone intact. The idea of taking risks, especially when I feel like I'm already doing okay, it feels like too much of a gamble. And I don't know if I'm ready to lose what I built up, even if it's not exactly what I want. And then there's this judgment from others. I feel like if I take this leap and fail, people are going to look at me like I made a huge mistake. It's easier to stay quiet and let things be okay, even if I'm not fully happy. Does that make sense? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, this is where I'm going to get into that passion idea, right? This is where I attack, and people always listen. Always listen. You better listen, because you're going to miss out if you don't. No, that makes complete sense, Sarah. That makes complete sense. And I really appreciate you being very vulnerable with me. It's really hard to get out of that shell. And I want to talk to you about something. You mentioned that you are very full of fear. You are so afraid of failing. You're so afraid of getting out of your comfort zone. And Sarah, what if I told you that your fear of failure is the whole reason why you are failing? Obviously, you know that. Deep down, you know that. But let me talk to you about something. You are all about art. You want to produce, you want to create. And that's totally normal. A lot of people organize and build their life around the idea of security and comfort, like I said, but they never make space for creativity. Here's what I have to salute. This is what I have to say to you. If you care about it, you're passionate about it, right? Do you know what passion is? Passion comes from the Latin word passio, which means to suffer and to endure. So Sarah, I want to ask you, if you really care about this, if you're really passionate about this, are you willing to suffer for it? Are you willing to endure for it? And how long are you willing to do it for? See what she's got to say. I always get a little nervous when I'm talking in front of the camera and in a role play. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. Shouldn't be. Well, I never really thought of passion that way. I always thought it was just something that felt good or came naturally, like you just fall into it and everything clicks. But if passion means suffering and enduring, then I guess I've been avoiding it, right? I've been avoiding the discomfort of starting, of failing, and of pushing through all of those messy, vulnerable moments. I think I've been afraid that the suffering part means I'm not good enough. She takes a deep breath and looks at you with a more determined expression. I care about this more than I've realized. I really do. And I think deep down, I've always known that I would have to suffer a bit for it. Maybe not suffer in the way I thought, but it's going to take grit, persistence, and probably a lot of awkward, uncomfortable moments of failing or not being perfect. But if it means I get to create and actually do the work I love, maybe it's worth it. I guess the real question is, am I willing to do it for as long as it takes? Because if it's about enduring, then I know I'll have to keep showing up, even when it's hard. And honestly, I think I'm willing to. I think I just needed to hear that. I'm ready to step into that discomfort. Maybe I'll fail, maybe I won't, but I'm ready to try. Now, obviously, a lot of people aren't going to feel this way immediately. This is one of those things that's like a little bit disconnected, but sometimes you do get this. And you just have to say something that will click. It's just one thing that that person needs to hear that will click. So I want to talk to them, kind of encourage them, build them up. Sarah, I'm so excited that you feel this way. I'm so excited that you're ready to start. And yeah, of course, you're right. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be awkward at times. But what is success worth if you never have to work for it? If it has no value, right? Is there even such thing as value if there's no effort? I'm excited for you. This is something you really love, and your life is organized, and honestly, it's fallen just right into place so that you can produce, so that you can become creative. I want to encourage you to. Now, Sarah, none of it's going to happen. The idea of creating and the idea of a business, right? All those different things produces more dopamine than actually doing it. So I need you to make a plan right now while you're with me. What are you going to do this week to start? That's all it needs. All it takes is just to start, right? You're right. The idea of all of this is exciting. Think about what I could create, what my life could look like, but it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and forget about the work behind it. So I think I need to focus on breaking it down into small, doable steps, doable steps. Whoops. Okay, so this week I'm going to commit to doing 3 things. Woo! All right, maybe you guys need to commit to these 3 things too. Put yourself in Sarah's shoes for a second. I don't care who you are, okay? Put yourself in Sarah's shoes. Would you commit to these 3 things? Let's hear what she's got to say. First, I'm going to set aside 30 minutes every day. No excuses. Just to sketch or work on a small digital art project. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I need to actually create something. I'll make sure it's a time when I'm not distracted by work. So maybe early in the morning or after dinner. Perfect. So setting a time of day. She's smart for that. And maybe that's, a lot of the times that's something you'd have to push onto them, right? I'm not going to have to here because she knows it, right? What I would say is I want her to be specific, okay? But we'll get into that. Second, I'm going to document my process. Whether it's just taking a quick photo of what I'm working on or recording a time lapse, I want to start building the habit of putting my work out there. Oh, perfect. So this goes perfectly into my next thing I want to talk about, which is, finding a way to monetize it or to produce it so that other people can see, right? You need some way to do that. Habit of putting myself out there, even if it's small. It's a way to hold myself accountable and it'll help me push through that fear of judgment, which is so true. You know, the fear of judgment, it's such a false fear. You know, yeah, you do get judged, but hardly anybody cares. That's the truth. Lastly, I'm going to spend at least 1 hour researching and brainstorming how I could start building an online portfolio or even a small Instagram page for my art. That'll be my first step, toward putting my work out into the world, even if it's just for me at first. She smiles, feeling a little lighter. I think that's a manageable starting point, right? I don't want to overcommit and burn out. Yep, she's right. But I also don't want to let fear stop me. I'll start there and see where it takes me. Okay, perfect. She has an awesome plan. But guess what? The plan is vapor if it's not written down on paper. Awesome, Sarah. I love your plan. It actually sounds so good. There's a couple things I want to talk to you about. You're talking about how you want to set aside a certain time of the day, right? So I want you to get specific with me real quick. What time of the day, right? It can't be morning, lunch, or dinner, right? You have to give me one time, whether it is only morning or only lunch or only dinner, or if you're going to work the whole entire day, let me know. I don't want you to get burnt out, obviously, though. So pick one specific time that you'll work every single day. And then the other thing I want to talk to you about is writing this down. Do you have a pen and paper nearby? I need you to write all this down real quick because the idea is worth nothing if it is not recorded, right? And that's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Those who succeed journal, they write it down, and they document. So will you do that for me real quick? Let's see what she's got to say. Okay, I get it. I need to make it specific. I can't just leave it open-ended. So I think I'll do it after work around 7 p.m. That gives me time to wind down, have dinner, and then I can focus on creating without feeling rushed. It'll be my me time. Perfect. Perfect. Just to really dive into my art without distractions. Okay, she's grabbing her pen and a piece of paper. Yes. Okay, we're winning right now. We're succeeding. I have the paper. I'm writing this down now. I know you're right. If I don't write it down, it's just a vague idea. I want this to be concrete. So here goes blah, 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 blah. She's writing it down right now. Set aside 30 minutes every day to create. So number one, set aside 30 minutes every day to create starting at 7 p.m. Number two, document my process. Take photos or make time-lapse videos. And number three, spend 1 hour researching and brainstorming, building an online portfolio and Instagram page. Awesome. This feels so much more real now. I can do this, and I'm excited to start seeing it come together. Awesome. So that's the big thing. Anyone who comes in with a problem, they're going to have that problem. They're not going to know what to do because they're blinded by their mind, right? There's like I don't know what it is, but there's a curtain that drops over, a veil that drops over the mind. They have no idea of finding a solution. And it's really, really difficult for a lot of people. And then, of course, then comes clarity. Oh, shoot. If this is something I really care about, I'm going to have to put in work. I'm going to have to suffer for it. It's going to be hard, but I need to do this. I need to be committed. Obviously, she's meeting with me for a reason. She's spending money, so she's very, very passionate. And then obviously last, she has a solution and she has the excitement. Again, nothing works so if there's no accountability, so let's plan that out. Awesome, Sarah. This is so exciting for me as well, but I need you to be a little bit accountable, all right? None of this is gonna work if you aren't accountable. Sarah, I need you to start something like I need you to text a friend and be accountable with a friend. And also I need you to be accountable with yourself. Start something like a YouTube channel. And that way you have accountability to an audience and also yourself so that you feel the need to produce, so that you feel the need to create the content so that you practice daily, right? And if you do that, you will be accountable with yourself. And lastly, I want to meet with you. Obviously, you've paid for this first call, but the second call, I'll actually give it to you for free because I want to make sure that you're achieving your goals and that you're progressing. When's a good time that we can meet? That was a little rough, but She got the point. She's happy. She's a good, happy customer. See what she's got to say. Okay, I see what you're saying. Accountability is key. I think texting a friend is a great idea. Someone who can check in and remind me to keep going. I'll reach out to my best friend Mia. She's always been supportive of my art, so I know she'll hold me to it. And I love the idea of starting a YouTube channel. That way I can really commit to putting my progress out there. I'll start with some short art videos, maybe just showing my process of or doing some time lapses. It'll be a way to share and stay accountable. And then she's writing down, perfect. As for meeting again, I'd really appreciate that. I think having a follow-up call will keep me on track. I'm free next Tuesday evening around 6 p.m. Would that work for you? I'm all in. I know I'm going to hit some bumps, but with the plan and your support, I'm feeling way more confident about actually doing it. Perfect. I'm going to leave it there. Obviously, there's a lot of things I could have done better. I really feel like one thing I was missing is I wasn't relatable enough. Here I am, I'm an artist, I'm an art teacher, and I'm not even offering that insight. I'm not telling stories, and that's really what connects humans to humans, is telling stories, giving them something to relate to. Awesome. It's as simple as this, guys. Just talk, work it through. You've got the perspective that they need. And if you study, if you're reading the books all the time, you know exactly what you need to say. Everything that I have, all my solutions for her came from studying countless days, just every single day on YouTube, reading books, right? All of my solutions came from those things. And if you don't do that, then you're missing out. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Hopefully it gave you guys solutions, and I'll see you in the next video. Let me know if you want to see another one of these. See you later.